Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Master Heart family. That we're going to have some fun today. That we're called society calls us Labor Day, and we don't like to labor. We don't like to work. We like to play and have fun, and so we'll call it Fun Day instead. Doesn't that sound a lot better than Labor Day? And a little bit later on, we'll be calling in our inner child. And if you'll recall, our first official time together as a Master Heart family, we started and talked about the inner child. And I shared about when I realized that I had an inner child. We all have a little boy, a little girl within us, and that inner child, and we, would like to be just managed that way. We'd like to be treated kindly and not like a grown up, and we really don't like being grown ups. It's way more fun being a kid. But when I met and realized I had an inner child, that my inner child was I walked down this real dark walkway and hallway, and I opened up this room, and in this dark room was this little boy, and he was just shivering, shaking. He had lines under his eyes. He looked malnourished. That he was scared, and he was scared in that corner. And it was because of whatever my upbringing, my interpretation of my father being, Hitler, because he was in a Hitler prison camp. So he was going to teach us, his sons, how to be rough and tough, and when they had to go through that. And so in essence, I was brought up by little Hitler. And so I realized, oh my gosh, my little boy. And at the time in my life, I really wasn't having a lot of fun. I was working hard and laboring and asking people, like, how do they make money? And because I was lost. And one of the reasons why I was lost is because I wasn't connected to my inner child. And so I started a relationship with my inner child, and I would go and visit him. And he didn't trust me initially. He didn't trust anyone or anybody. And so eventually he came and he hugged me. And that was the beginning of him coming out of the darkness and to starting to enjoy who he really is. And so our child within us basically can give us four amazing things. And maybe you want to write this down, that our child within us, if you will call upon your child within you and ask for their youthfulness, okay, it's a way to become youthful. Oh, it's also to ask for your inner child to be more funner. And some people say to me, Dr. Hank, there isn't a word funner. And oh, yes, there is, because we make up our own words. And we all know what it means to be funner. So we want to be funner. We want to be more, and our inner child will help you to become more playful. See, when you're playful with others, when you vibrate that, they'll be playful with you. It doesn't matter if it's a boss, a prospect, a client, a friend, family member. It doesn't matter. That it all matters what you're thinking and feeling. And so the last thing this is again youthfulness, youthfulness is this funner, to have more fun, to be more playful. But the fourth one is to be carefree. Oh, and that word just doesn't it sound? I just want to be carefree. There truly is nothing to be worried about. Okay. And that we're all being taken care of. In fact, the worry creates the not being taken care of, because we start getting distant from that which takes care of us. Something's taking care of us, right? I like calling it our higher self. We have our lower self and our higher self. And our higher self is always taking care of us. We didn't have to tell our heart to beat this morning. We didn't have to know that we were hungry or whatever it is, that we're literally being taken care of. I had a person who I guide and support and love, and I have many of those people in the world that I do so. And they contacted me this morning on a holiday, and they said, "I just have to talk to you. I'm having some real problems." And this person I have helped to make tens of thousands of dollars in just the last couple of months, that helped him to have a better relationship. I mean, he was really on a roll, and we all can be on a roll forevermore. And it's all a matter how we think. So, anyways, I call him and I said, "How can I help?" And he goes, "Oh my God, that I just feel terrible. I'm tense. I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders." And think to yourself, when have maybe you been that way? And worried about everything and worried about running out of money. And I said, "Well, share with me what's been going on." And he said, "Well, he had to take care of the kids and more so this week, and because of that he didn't have time to do the joy shop. In other words, he didn't have time to be deliberate in creating the life that he wanted." And when I met him a few months ago, he became deliberate using the joy shop, identifying what you do desire, because that just keeps on going. There's no end to all your desires, but to have clarity about asking for what you desire. 80% of the time, most people are talking about they're asking for what they don't desire. No wonder why people aren't very happy. And it's also part of that joy shop is to appreciate everything that is going on. And so, yeah, he for the last week, he hadn't done the joy shop. He wasn't deliberate. And he was back in a worse place than he had ever been. He was just terrible. It felt awful, that. And so within, I don't know, 2 minutes of talking with him, he said, "Oh my God, I feel so much better." And yeah, because it's just these thoughts. It's what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And that if I'm not deliberate and have that, what I desire, what I appreciate, and then pre-pave the day the way you want it, that if you don't do it, that then the devil will get a hold of you. And who's the devil? The committee, that little smaller voice that's chattering away. So hearing that, oh, thank you. Michelle said you do that for me too. Yay. And so hearing that, what are your thoughts on, either that, or if you want to share any of the goodies that are happening in your life, because there are miracles happening everywhere. Your thoughts?
Well, when I say you do that for me too, it's like, honestly, if I'm ever feeling, which I don't do hardly at all anymore, I don't let that committee get in. But once in a blue moon, it does still creep in, and I'll reach out to you and like instantly,
Yeah.
you help me see it in a better way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's all you need to do is reposition this, think about it differently. And when see, it's this knowing too. When Shel, that in this world, everything has the wanted and the unwanted. So every person has wanted, unwanted, every situation wanted, unwanted, and that all we need to do is change our thinking. And there's no school on this. I'm helping a teenager right now, and so I can help people, really significantly when they have a consciousness, if you will. And so that's typically around 12 years old and up, and to 100 and whatever and and so helping this boy that he was saying, he's starting to realize that he controls everything. and that he can have the wanted or the unwanted in anything that he wants. And I shared with them, there's no school on this. It's the most important thing we can learn about life. We don't need any type of education. That our communication is through our vibration. We can actually, we don't have to know English or whatever. I mean, a smile will get you everywhere you want to be. And so it's this idea about that, he started to recognize he could literally manage any and everything in his life and see the wanted. And he was telling me, he was at a lake, and he said to me, "Oh man, I just hope that the waves aren't real high in the lake, and so that he can, play and go boating and, whatever he's going to be doing, skiing or whatever." And I said, "Well, did you ask for that?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, did you ask for the smooth waters today?" And that's a good one for all of us, isn't it? Wow, I asked for smooth waters today. Yeah. And so in this case, it was literally, a lake with waters, not necessarily our life, but it would make smooth waters for him if those waters were in his life. And and I said, "Well, you can ask for it." And he's, well, I don't understand that. And he's really picking up on all this. He's a little entrepreneur. He's making thousands of dollars every month now on a little job and a little business that he created. It's just amazing. And he's got a little team now and a manager, blowing this thing up. By the time he's 15 years old, he's gonna, have a multi-billion-dollar business. Just incredible, because we can literally create and be, do, and have anything. And I shared with him a couple of examples. I said, my son, and I think I shared with Master Art Family when this happened a while back, that my son was flying into Atlanta and his plane was 2 hours late, and they had to sit on a runway with his two kids for a couple hours. And I asked my son then, when he got into Atlanta, I said, "Well, did you prepave your day?" And he said, "Oh no, I was too busy with the kids, blah blah." Oh, too busy. Now you can sit on a plane for 2 hours, right? And and I said, "Well, so how do you want it when you come back and when you fly home?" And he said, "Well, I'd like to be on time." And I said, "Hey, why don't we even have more fun than that? And why don't we call it early? Why don't we ask the plane to be early?" And because you can control any and everything, to include the flights, how the flights are. And so he said, "I love that idea." And he really embraced it. He believed he could ask for it. And he texted me that Sunday afternoon when he flew back in. He said, "Guess what?" And he goes, "You won't believe it." And I said, "Oh, yes, I will." And he said, "Yeah, the flight came in not only on time, came in early. Everything was early. We're home early. Everything was early." It was like, yeah, yeah. And that same weekend, it was Friday night, and Atlanta's weather it was going to rain all weekend. And my son, who was getting married, that he says to me Friday night, "Look at the weather report." And say, "I don't care what the weather report is. I don't care what anybody else is saying, doing, or whatever. I only care what I'm thinking and feeling." And it was raining real heavily out on Friday night. And he said, "Oh, Dad, I can't believe that, it's going to rain and we have an outdoor wedding." I said, "Well, hold on, what do you want?" It's this idea about what do you want. Don't talk to me about what you don't want. And he said, "Well, I'd like it to be sunny." And I said, "Why don't we ask for a perfect day, a perfect sunny day?" And guess what? That day, and at the time, that was Friday night, it was raining all weekend, to include on Saturday. And Saturday was the most beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. This is how powerful we are. So this young man that I'm helping, that I said, "Yeah, let's call it, do you believe that you can have clear waters, smooth waters?" Yeah. And he said, "Yeah." So that afternoon, I texted him and I said, "Hey, how's the water?" And he goes, "Smooth." And it's like, yeah, this is how we can have it. And so it doesn't matter what's going on in our life, that we can have it the way that we want it.
With Dr.
Yeah.
Hank, when you were talking about being playful, we got an opportunity to go up and visit my husband's granddaughter, and she's so beautiful. And all the adults are sitting down at this trampoline park, right? And it was interesting because they're like, I'm like, I really want to get out there and just jump with her. And they're like, you're too old for that. I'm like, that's the one thing you don't tell me is I'm
Yeah.
too old or I can't do something because I will kill myself to do it. Okay. I had a blast. The inner child was popping out, bouncing all over the place, bouncing off the walls. Like
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah,
I,
that's
I might
great.
have been sore the next day, but it was worth it. It was
Yeah.
great. I had a blast. And so
Yeah.
we one thing that you have taught me and I take it with me now, on that trip, we got to visit his son and I got to visit my daughter. But if anyone knows
Yeah.
me, I didn't really have a close relationship with my daughter for almost 6 years. So I hadn't seen her for 6 years. And you have to
Wow.
go in with that, believing in love and trust and stop worrying
Mm,
about what they're thinking or whatever, because you're the creator. And that's how I
yeah.
felt. And that's why I went out with it. My husband hates it because he'll start barking about the day. I'm like, is that what you want? So, and so when I start doing it, he goes, oh, is that what you want? So we started catching each other in this
Yeah.
drift
Right.
now of, being positive. And I have to tell you that I feel like similar uh, to like a gift is given to me being able to hug and love on my baby girl. That was an absolute gift. I am so gracious for that moment. I'm so proud of
Yeah.
her too because she's such a smart, brilliant young lady that's made her own path and she's staying
Mm,
positive too. So I just wanted to
yeah.
share that with you all. That is an absolute miracle. If you seen me 6 years ago, you'd be like, there's no way you're going to have a relationship with your daughter. And now
Wow.
today it's completely different. So, and I thank
Yeah.
you for believing in that too. I couldn't have done it without prayers and believing in myself and talking
Yeah.
myself out of the negative. So just
Yeah.
that's one of the things that keep you from what you want is if you're worried about what people are thinking, you have no idea,
Yeah.
that's none of your
Right.
business. None of your
That's right.
business what they're thinking. Go out,
Yeah.
dream it, create it, and it's going to happen. I'm living proof. I have pictures now I'm using for Christmas presents.
Mhm.
Proof to the
That's
family.
great.
Bam.
Yeah, that is just awesome. Yeah, and this is where the contrast, even the 6 years. So we're all just so happy for you, Liberty, and that
Thank
just
you.
warms our hearts to hear that on the amazing, coming back. But those 6 years, see, that was 6 years of contrast that brought it to that magnificent time last week where you were able to meet with your daughter and embrace her. And in a way, that would have never otherwise happened if it weren't for the contrast. And then it also helps you to realize that all things are possible because nobody would have thought that that would have, ever happened 6 years ago or whatever. And you are so right. And I love this. Go out and dream it and be it, live it. Yeah. And so that's just so beautiful. And it's those times too, where your heart is singing, right? Your soul is dancing. That to continue to reflect back on those magical moments. I've helped people change their whole perspective on their life by just looking at every 5 years of their life. And so 0 to 5, being born to 5 years old, name one thing, if you can remember anything, just name one really wonderful thing and then 5 to 10, or you can do it every 10 years if you want to. And don't make it a job, have fun with it and just look for something good. And so your example on that, because see, once your heart's singing like that and you think about that experience again, I just love that I'm back with my daughter. I love that we have such a great relationship now. I love that we hug and love each other and just get into all that raises your vibration. And now the heavens open up because you're now walking with God, if you will. You're vibrating in joy, and that's where God is. And that's also where all your dreams and desires are. So it doesn't matter what we're thinking about, as long as we're thinking about what we want, what we love and experience. It doesn't matter if it's from the past, present, or made up in your imagination, God's playground, that if you're thinking about it, you'll see it, you'll experience it, and even more. And the heavens will open and give you all the things that you want. It, my old story was, oh, my dad, kind of go back to, my inner child, that, oh, and my dad, was such a tough upbringing and blah, blah, blah. Well, what did that do? That just lowered my vibration. So I had to search. It took me a while. I mean, it took me like hours to think of what was a good experience from like 0 to 5 or the first 10 years with my dad. And I finally remembered this experience where my dad and my two brothers, which were two older brothers, who they tortured me and stuff. So I was like with three Hitlers at the time. Okay, that my dad and my two older brothers, we were walking down the road, down a street, going to the circus. And I remember sitting at the circus and being just in awe. It was the first time I ever had been to a circus, and being in awe of seeing the different animals and the elephants and the clowns and everything. I was just feeling so good. And my dad hands me this thing, and it kind of looks like this pink, smushy kind of thing. And he goes, go ahead, try some. And I go in, and it's cotton candy. And so that's my upbringing now. That's what I remember. Oh, I felt so good. It was so wonderful being with my dad and my brother and my family, and being at the circus and having cotton candy. That's my new story. And for all of us, change your story, because
I
you
like
can
that.
spot the wanted. Yeah. What was that?
I think too, we have to remember, like, when you start sharing with family, and not saying anything negative of family, I'm just saying that the committee puts in and they start asking questions to pull you down out of your
Yeah.
moment. And I think it could be for jealousy purposes, whatever it is. I
Right.
just say, I don't ask questions. I lead with love in my heart. And I'm just so
Mm,
grateful and thankful. And that's all I want. I don't want to
yeah.
know anything. All I want to know is
Okay.
that she's happy. And they just look at me like I'm nuts. And I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
am. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
funner.
You see, yeah, because you're you're talking to their hearts then. See, and when you come from heart, and that's why we're the master heart family. When you come from heart, that it changes everything and everyone. And even though their committee is still saying, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Why don't you? Whatever." That and I wouldn't even, and I get it that yeah, and they're asking questions or whatever. But for me to just say, I I'm just going to love them, unconditionally love them. And when you do, love is the greatest power, and will overcome any committee at any time. Stephen, were you going to say something?
I do. I got something to say, like always. Um, Something that I find that I really can go back to my inner child is, I don't know if you guys have ever used this before. It's wishing paper. Have you guys ever seen this stuff? Where
No,
you get a,
okay.
oh, you gotta go to wishing paper. So you write your wish, the way you twist it up, and then you light it on fire, and it just floats up. There what you wish. So if I need to release stuff, this is where I go, inner child wishing paper. I don't know where you guys find it in your places, bookstores, but
Yeah,
great way to
yeah,
let it go. Great way to let it go. Especially if you don't have a way to let it go. Because
yeah.
I mean, I
And
love
so,
fire.
and those are things that you don't want, that you didn't like. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like,
yeah,
like if you have a situation like you're saying, how do I, let it go? How do I, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
remove myself from it? Let's just light it on
yeah.
fire and send it away with some
That
fire paper.
that's great. Love it. Flying wishing paper. And so, and the kind of the next thing to really cement that in, if you will, into the subconscious, is to say, what do I want then? So I got rid of this. I now have this empty spiritual space. And what do I want to fill it with? And so, yeah.
Oh,
So it's
perfect.
like,
And
yeah,
there's more
yeah,
papers in there, so you can put those on there and wish those up too. So they give you
yeah,
a context
yeah,
to start new ones
yeah,
by sending them too. So it's a great way to do.
yeah,
I don't know if you guys are into that, but it really
yeah.
works for my child quite a bit.
That's awesome.
It's good stuff.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to say one thing to everyone, especially Doc Hank. Every time you share those childhood memories of your dad and the whole military mindset, I so
Yeah.
resonate with it because my dad was retired Navy, and my sister was kind of like your brothers, where she bullied me constantly. And it
Mhm.
was so bad that 2 weeks ago, and I'm 63 years old,
Yeah.
she used to scare the living daylights out of me when I was in a deep REM sleep, sleeping.
Oh.
And I was just a
Mhm.
kid. I wasn't even, 2 years old. So as an
Mhm.
adult, I have this dream anxiety disorder where
Right.
I literally I wake up and I see something attacking
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
I did this a couple of weeks ago and I literally fell out of bed and I broke the fall on my elbow. So what did I
Gee.
end up doing? I bruised the bone, but I was
Mhm. Yeah.
okay. And I said to
Yeah.
myself, I've been working on this dream anxiety disorder from, back when I was just a tot with my sister, and
Yeah.
I'm really trying to eliminate this, and I've gotten better so
Yeah.
that I'm not having this dream like every 3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's
Great.
getting less and less and less. But what I love about what everybody shared, and especially you, Doc Hank, was because there's a lot of similarities from what you went through and what I went through.
Yeah.
Um, what I love about what everyone said was it's not just the letting go, but it's
Mhm.
truly having your heart, my heart,
Mhm.
in that higher vibration of, you know what? I'm over this. It was
Yeah.
me. Uh, I'm healed, and I'm now
Right.
living the rest of my life being in this anxiety disorder where I think
Right.
somebody is after me, and it
Right.
wakes me
Right.
up because it's very disruptive
Oh,
in a good
absolutely.
sleep.
You
So I
bet.
appreciate everyone taking the time and just bringing your love to us today, and
Yeah.
keeping that inner child healthy emotionally, spiritually,
Mhm.
mentally. Thank
Yeah,
you.
beautiful, Lori, beautiful, beautiful. So let me, I have several comments on that, and they're going to be all very helpful for you. First of all, as far as relating to me, right when you brought up the story about your sister would wake you up in a deep sleep, I'll never forget. I just brought this up a week ago on, I think watching TV and like it's the first time TVs or whatever were coming out or color TVs or whatever. And I was watching TV and I fell asleep on the couch. And it's the afternoon, in the afternoon. And all of a sudden, my father comes in the room and I don't know that, he's in the room. And he goes, "What are you?" And he starts yelling at me. And I mean, I flipped up, I jumped up 3 feet off the thing. And like, I was like, I can't sleep ever again because I got to stay up because otherwise, and he just started telling me, you lazy kid, and I'm just a kid that I fell asleep watching TV, but again, when we have this understanding, so now I understand, where my dad was coming from. He was trying to make me, rough top. Now, my brother, so number one, I can relate to your story, similar story, but with my father. But also, my brothers, because of the way my dad was, that they were all messed up and, because they were treated this way too. So when I, being the third son, came, they took their anger and their confusion over, we didn't know what was right or wrong. As our dad, he'd drop us off in the middle of a dirt road in the forest and just drive away in the middle of Wisconsin. We didn't know what the hell to do or where we were. I mean, the first couple times he did it, we were scared as hell. Eventually we figured out he's going to come back, we think, because otherwise we don't have, there was no farmhouse, no nothing, out there. But what I realized is my brothers had been through this and they were just trying to release, doing the best job they could. And the best job they could was to take it out on me. And that's what your sister was doing in whatever. But now here's the answer. So we kind of understand what's happening. We understand, we give everybody a break. They're doing the best job they can. But here's the answer for you. Remember that we are deliberate creators, or we can be. We're all creators and we can be deliberate. And so I've helped many people overcome dreams, anxiety about, having horrible dreams and, whatever. And the way to do it, and just do it, breathe in deeply before you go to sleep. And you start saying things to yourself, to your higher self, to the kingdom within you that has this vibration of fear over, being awakened and whatever. And so you don't think about that. What you think about is what you want. And you think about, so what do I want? I want to sleep deeply. I want to sleep peacefully. Ooh. I want, and a great thing. So what I've recently been doing is before I go to sleep, I ask for something, and it's the highest thing that I desire in my life. And that is for me, that I become even more enlightened. So I ask before I go to sleep that I ask to sleep deeply and peacefully. And then I ask while I sleep, okay, because by day and by night, God can help us and give us anything. And it's actually easier at night when our conscious mind and our committee isn't going to ask. And then I ask as I sleep, have me be more enlightened when I awaken.
I love that. Thank you. Love it.
Yeah. And then I also ask, and when I awaken refreshed, rested, and ready to go, filled with the energy of the divine. And see, when you start directing how you want it versus what virtually any doctor or whatever is going to say is, hey, let's dig up the problem. What's the problem with this? We'll give you medication, whatever. You're just, you're not addressing what needs to be addressed. And what needs to be addressed is not what the problem is. It's what you want.
I love it. Thank you.
We already know, yeah, what the problem is. And what the answer is to replace it with the wanna. Yeah. Isn't that great, Larry? And you'll see that you will sleep more deeply, more at peace, and not only during the night, but during the day too. And so I asked for, remember the four spiritual really foundation of our lives is this, and I would write this down and ask for it every day. I ask for more love. I ask for more joy. I ask for more peace. And then the pinnacle is more enlightenment. Enlightened for what? To understand who you are, that, underneath all of this, you're pure love. To understand that you are a divine creator and that you can create your life the way that you want to. And you have all of these resources from God, archangels, angels, people that I can call forth, circumstances, events. All of it is energy, and we can mold this energy with the power of our minds and our emotions. Nuggets. Isn't that great? Yeah, beautiful. Any other thoughts, comments? Yeah, why don't we go now into that peaceful place, in fact, that I am talking about peace, and that's really something that all of us really want. The greatest peace you can be is at peace with your committee and realize that it's just there for contrast. We don't have to listen to it anymore, and you can rise up to your higher self to walk with God. And so let's just breathe in deeply now and close your eyes. So we go within, and as you breathe out, just breathe out anything in the day, anything in your life that is troubling you. And as you breathe in, ask for smooth water. No longer are there those troubled waters. Smooth and easy, and breathe in. And breathe out. Ah. Ah. And as you breathe in the breath of God, flowing in your mind and your emotions in your body, feeling so divine, so happy, so playful, so fun, so youthful. And let's just start at the top of this beautiful spiral staircase now, as we are relaxed and at ease within the kingdom within us. And just begin now walking down this beautiful spiral staircase, going down deeper and deeper and deeper. Just gliding down, feeling so free, so carefree, so happy. You're smiling as you go down deeper and deeper to the bottom of the spiral staircase. And you look out, and there is this beautiful divine place. It's paradise. It's your soul. You see the light of God is shining like a sun shining on you. It's the light of God shining on you. You see clear water, smooth water, beautiful deep waterfall falling down into this beautiful, loving, healing pond of God. Oh, it feels so fresh, so renewed now, as you're renewing your soul, renewing yourself. And as you walk up to this beautiful pond, you call forth now your inner child. And you're just by the sandy beach of this beautiful, blue, loving, healing water of God. And as you call forth your inner child, that out of the water rises your inner child. And your inner child is smiling, so happy to see you, and comes running up to you and hugs you and shares with you and says, I love you. I love you so much. You're so beautiful, and I love being at one with you. I love that you have called upon me to be with you. And you feel this youthfulness now flowing in to your essence of who you are. We feel so light, so youthful, with the love and youthfulness of your inner child with you now. You take that inner child, your beautiful inner child, place that inner child in your heart. Forevermore is there with you now in consciousness within your subconscious, this beautiful, beautiful child. And we now call forth from our inner child not only the youthfulness, but now we ask to be more fun. We ask to have more fun, to be funner in our lives. We ask to be now more playful and so joyous, so happy and playful, just skipping along our lighted path now, laughing and smiling and enjoying, so carefree. We just love and we call forth now that carefreeness, to be carefree, to take the burden that we carry and to release it. We no longer need any burdens of the world, of other people, of ourselves, of our past, and we can let it all go and instead embrace this present moment, this divine moment where all our power is, where all our loving power is to create a long and happy and healthy and wealthy life. We just love that we feel so young, so enthusiastic, so positive. We just love being so optimistic now. We love seeing the divine in everything, the wanted in everything, the good in everything. That we just begin to skip along now as a child. And we love to be a child. We've been told, come to me as children. And we now come to the Father as children, innocent, delightful, in a pure state of allowing, as we allow the love of God, our inner child, and all that is to flow with us now. And just continue to breathe deeply in this silence. And in the silence, I am God. Yeah. And breathe in your child. And feel your youthfulness in every cell of your body, in every organ of your body. The way you see now, smell, taste, hear, touch, and your intuition, your sixth sense. Just have it flow now with the divine in a pure state of allowing, in a pure state of love, a pure state of fun and playfulness and youthfulness. Ah. And we give thanks for this understanding now. We give thanks for inviting our inner child in with us, giving us these marvelous ways of living life now, such a fun and happy, joyous way. We thank you that we are now having our hearts open. The guards are gone. We are purely open, for we know that as much as we can love, we will be loved. And we now open up our hearts wide. We give our child to the world as well. So happy in that way we attract happy and wonderful people and circumstances and events as we now walk our inner child. We walk with God and all that is. And for this we give thanks. I'm going to count now from 4 down to 1. And on 1 we'll awaken feeling so refreshed, so rested, feeling so youthful, so happy, so fun. It's just fantastic on how we now feel and how we can create this feeling at any time. We start at 4 and we ask for more of what we want. And it is now given to us. And 3, oh, we love the 3 with our mind and our body and our spirit, being so youthful now, so playful, so fun, so carefree. And the 2, our inner child and us, together as one now, united as one, enjoying this life as it was intended, skipping along our lighted path and easily grabbing our low hanging fruit, and it all flowing into our experience of what we desire. And now 1, we open up our eyes and welcome this beautiful life to us now. And so it is done. Amen. Woo. So with that, any other thoughts, comments?
It just keeps getting better and better, Doc Hank.
It just keeps on getting better and better. Yeah. We're just feeling better and better. We just have all these resources, all this loving energy that surrounds us, is in us and through us, and helps us to be a magnet to all the things that we desire. And so we love that. And so speaking of being like children, let's sing like children. Let's dance like children. And we like to laugh and have more fun. We like
to laugh and have more
fun, for we are the chosen ones.
For we are the chosen
ones. Yeah, good. Having fun is our new game.
Having fun is our new
game. My inner child is my middle name.
My inner child is
my middle name. Joy is our divine right.
Joy is our divine
right. As we are guided by divine light.
As we are guided by
divine light. Sound off. We are now divine children.
Sound off. We are now divine
children. Sound off. We are now divine children.
Sound off. We are now divine children.
Yes, yes, yes.
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 Yeah.
All right.
All right, everyone. Hey, I love you. You're going to have a magical week now. You're going to be more playful, have more fun, and everything that you want is flowing your way, starting right now. Love
Thank you, everyone.
God bless you all. Have a good
Yes,
day.
God bless
God
you.
bless you.
Have a great
Thank
week.
you.
You too.
Bye. And so it's done.
And so